So glad to have you guys out here on this a beautiful day. Let me know what you guys have cooked up for Sunday today, or maybe what you have going on this week, maybe some fun happenings that happened during the previous week. But I am excited to be out here with you guys here today. And if you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. You can learn a little bit more about me by checking out the information box down below. You can check out my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com. You can check out the Witchy Shop, Desert Cauldron. You could check out the newsletter. I put a newsletter out at the first of every month. Don't play the spam game, so all you get is a cool newsletter from me at the start of every month. Yeah, so how are you guys? Starting at a little bit different time today. Usually when we get close to well, I guess technically other parts of the world are on daylight savings. Arizona doesn't really observe that. So as the days get longer, I like to have my live chats earlier. So 8 a.m. from now on until the days start to get short again, as we head into autumn and winter. So I'll go back to my 9 a.m. at that time. But for now, we're going back to 8 a.m. homies, Mountain Standard Time. Yeah, okay. So I have a few decks with me here today so that we could dive into the weekly reading, but also for what you guys voted on in the poll. And I put a poll out on my public YouTube channel page. I also put that same poll to my patrons and over for my my YouTube members, and it was kind of unanimous for what everybody wanted. And it looks like everybody was looking for some channeled messages from our horse allies. And the reason that came about is because there are horse stables like right over there. So I get to hear the horses, and well, if we're lucky, we might even see them walking by. There's people going out on like horse rides and stuff like that. And it was really cool yesterday. There was actually a lot of them going out because it was so much snow. I mean, you guys can kind of see there's like a little bit of snow right now. I'll kind of give you guys the little snow tour. I mean, it's not too snowy now, but it was like it was very nice yesterday. Not that it's not nice here today. All right, our buddy Patrick is here. He says it hits it hits 4 o'clock you over here. So good morning to you. Good morning to you as well, my friend. I do want to thank, by the way, as Patrick is there, thank you to all of my supporters, all of my subscribers. Everybody hangs out with us on the live chats. Also to all of my YouTube members, so Kayla and Nancy and Astrid and Jolene and Duality Tales, and to all of my patrons, Lily, Dana, Jamie, Kayla, Syrian, Brandy, Jason, Brian, Karen, Sarah, Paulo, Crystal, Easy Does It, Joel, Mikey, and Casey Grader. Love you guys. Thank you for all of the support. All right, so let's dive into that weekly reading. I'm going to bring my decks over here. Maybe put this in my pocket. I'm going to be going on a little bit of a road trip that I'm excited about. I'm going to be going to Colorado today. So after the chat, gotta get some things done, and then it's off to Colorado. But it's a very short trip, just actually picking something up. There's a young boy around here who I believe he's going to be picking something up in like Durango or something like that. So we're going to go with him and help him pick that up. Okay, but I have a few decks here for the weekly reading. If you guys are going to be using some decks, then let me know what you are working with. And yes, good morning, Arizona. I was hearing that differently in my mind, but yeah, if you guys are just going to be channeling some good old-fashioned intuition, or you would like to use something to aid that intuition, definitely let me know what you are utilizing, and yeah, let's dive into that weekly reading. Okay, so for me, I have my Wally's World Oracle, because Wally's World. So, and by the way, if you're interested in Wally's World, this is a deck that was backed on Kickstarter that I created along with our lovely community. So I have the link down below in case you are interested. But I also have my Juridic Tarot that I'm going to be using. And let me just get it out of its fancy smancy little pouch here. my deck of color. So I love the color cards. I love color, like, so, so. Okay. So I'm gonna put this to the side for now. Okay, I want to pull from Wally's World, just like a theme card, and then maybe some clarifiers from the Druidic Tarot. Angela says, "Good morning from Indiana. Happy Sunday. Good morning. Good morning. All right." Okay, so let's go ahead and get a nice shuffle. Ooh, hold on. Before I do that, I want to turn the camera around so you guys can see Rex over there. He's out and about, and yeah, it seems like he kind of likes the snow on his paws. So, and he's doing so much better, like so much better. Like I told you guys the story. He was not doing well like a couple weeks ago, but yeah, he just kind of turned it around. Also with the help of my friend Lily, who's really good with, animal Reiki. Um, you know, just amazing. She is amazing. I love you, Lily, in case you're listening. And Lily's out there in New York, but we're trying to figure out a way to get her out here to Arizona. So, all right. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a little shuffle. See what Wally has for us. And if you don't know who Wally is, I had a couple of cats, Wally and Loki, and they stayed with their daddy in San Diego. But Wally is a Silver Point Siamese, and then Loki is a Bombay, and he is a big old panther. And Wally, I would just call him my little puma. But before we got Loki, his adopted brother, I had created the Wally's World. Okay, so looks like we have a card from Wally. Oh, okay. Well, that is interesting. So this particular image was taken by my friend Cosmic Creeper out in the UK. And I remember her saying about this spot, she loved coming here because she loved to hear the ducks. And there were some geese or ducks kind of flying overhead. So I was hearing them literally like a few minutes ago. But that's interesting. So yeah, she loves to watch the ducks kind of like go by and play in the water here. And I have actually photoshopped Wally right there in the bushes. He's just kind of peeking out. But she felt this was like a really tranquil spot, and it was a place that was not too far from her home. But let's go ahead and have a little tap in. And by the way, it smells so good around here because I think some people are burning their fireplaces right now. It's like, oh, it smells so nice. Okay, so let's tap in. Oh, you guys can kind of hear them in the background, no? I hear them. Okay. So actually what I was getting is more the energy of duck energy, although those might be geese, but that same kind of energy of like, they always say the water rolls right off their backs. And that's the energy that I'm feeling for this upcoming week, is that, maybe some things might seem dire, or like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I can't believe this is happening, or I don't want this to happen. But if we really just stop and ground ourselves and have a little think about it, it's like, is it really that important? Or is it just like we're being inconvenienced for like 5 or 10 minutes? Because I don't really feel like it's something that's actually going to have like a heavy impact on you. It's more perspective this month. So, or actually this upcoming week, but maybe perhaps, it is for the month as well, the month of March. But it's really just kind of allowing things to go, meaning not to take inaction, but more the action of grounding and then deciding like, is this something that's actually worth my worry? And if I'm going to worry, am I going to take action on this, or am I just going to worry? Because if I'm just going to sit around and worry and, be anxious all day, well, that's not really going to accomplish anything, and it's just going to make you feel worse. So again, so this thing or perhaps a few things that might come up this week is just, as I ground myself and I really have to think about it, um, is this one particular thing worth like ruining my whole day or my whole week or even the next couple of hours? Is this really worth my peace? Is there something actionable I can do about this right now, instead of sitting around biting my nails and saying, I wish this hadn't happened, or oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? It's like, okay, so this is happening. What's the lesson in this? How did I attract this? Or if it's dealing with another person, how did they attract me into this situation? Let's look at the situation objectively. If I were to look at this situation, look back on it 5 years from now or 10 years from now, is it really, am I even going to remember this like 5 and 10 years from now? If not, then maybe it's not that important. And so it's just, taking a little breather about it, a little think about it. And it's like, okay, well, I could do this, this, and this. There's nothing much else I can do. So and maybe perhaps calling in, friends if you need help and, the like, because that's also one of the messages actually for 2025 is just remembering community, remembering, not only do you live in a community, but you're part of the collective consciousness. So don't forget to reach out for help. There is no shame in asking for help. We come into this world with help, so let's ask for help while we are here. And remember how good it feels when other people ask you for help, how much it feels, just terrific, just helping others and being able to, offer your skills, your muscle, your expertise, whatever it may be, your time, a listening ear. So allow others to, do the same, by asking them for help. Allow them to feel, special, that they get to help you with something. So John is here. He says, hello, beautiful people. Hello, hello. And Sam is here. Says, hi, Tara. Hope all is well. All is terrific. We can hear the birdies in the sky at the moment. Okay, so let's pull some clarifiers then from the Druidic Tarot. I'm going to just put that up there, Lexo. Okay, Druidic Tarot. This one I got several weeks ago, but it's got really cool backings. I love the artwork in here. And this is one of those Los Scarabeo decks. But it doesn't have all the, all the languages on the cards, which is kind of cool. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and give it a shuffle and see what else we could gather about this upcoming week. Hey, Easy Does It's here. It says, hello all. Hello, hello. Okay. Boop. And boop. And boop. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Ooh, we have the 10 of Swords. Yeah, just chillaxing on the rocks, right? He's like, and I'm dead. Let's see. And then we have the 8 of Wands. That's kind of a juxtaposing energy there. 8 of Wands, 10 of Swords. And then we have the 4 of Stones. All right, Easy Does It's like, I made it. Yay! So happy to have you. Okay, so for this upcoming week, actually it is kind of reiterating what I said with the Wally's World. So, perhaps this thing that's coming up, or perhaps it's multiple things, it may make us feel like this. We're like, really? I got these other things on my plate right now. I don't want to deal with this right now, so it may feel like it's just another thing that's compounding. But, here we have with this 4 of Stones. If we could just come back to our center, just ground just a little bit, take 5 minutes to just breathe, look at your environment, and then decide, all right, so where am I feeling this in my body? Do I feel it in my stomach? Am I feeling it up in my head, with this situation or this person, whatever it is that's going on? And then after I've done that, what can I do about it? And also, why is this in my reality at this time? What is this trying to teach you? Maybe it's trying to teach me to chillax. Maybe the 10 of Swords is just like, all right, just have a down day. Maybe you've been go, 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 and you just need like a little break. And that could be what it's bringing up. It's not really to make you anxious, but really to help you to put things into perspective, help us all to put things into perspective, and just have a little chillax. Maybe sometimes we take life too seriously. Even the most jovial of us might feel like, oh my gosh, this is something that's urgent, needs my attention. If it's urgent, okay, then what can I do about it? And then once we take action, we usually feel less anxiety, less tension, less worry, because we feel like we're doing something. But also, if there are no actionable steps, then the other, I would say, non-physical actionable steps we could take then is to look at why it is in our reality, what I could do about what lesson am I here to learn about it, and integrate it, or maybe find somewhere in the self to heal, perhaps a bit of shadow work. But that's really that's what this life is. It's full of lessons and ways of being and learning and perspective, and we can look at it from the light side while also understanding that there is a shadow aspect as well. And once we understand those two of every situation, or even the neutrality of it, then we have more clarity, especially moving forward, and the choices that we make. All right, so lots of fun people coming in here. I also wanted to say with the Eight of Wands that when we ground ourselves, maybe have a little bit of a chillax, actually things start moving more quickly. It's the state of like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? That kind of puts us in the state of lockedness, not Loch Ness, like Loch Ness Monster, but in a state of inactivity, of blockedness. Okay. So just keep that in mind for this upcoming week, and if you're really, really feeling like you're having trouble grounding the self, having trouble putting it into perspective, then please call a friend, call a family member, whoever it is that you feel absolutely close to, and just have a little chat about it. Remember, you're not burdening other people by having a chat about things that bother you, or a situation that you might find yourself in. Because remember, you would be there for those friends and family members if they were going through something like that. So, maybe they just, maybe you've gotten phone calls where somebody just wants to have a chat because they want to unload, or they're just like, hey, I need some perspective, or can you help me out? And that's what that symbiotic relationship, that two-way street, that give and take, instead of you always being the person listening to other people and helping other people out, let them help you out too, so that we create those removal of blockages, so that in the future, when there are things that you are looking to manifest or bring into your life, it's just so much easier, because we're not sitting in a state of like, I'm an island all unto myself and I have absolutely no help, because you are everyone and everyone is you. So, all right, so let's put this off to the side. And then I want to grab my deck of color, actually, because I really feel that correlates with the messages that we are going to get today from our horsey friends. And by the way, I do know that it's probably people are probably going to have to adjust to the new 8 a.m. time. Not that it's new, technically. During like spring, summer, and even into fall, we were 8 a.m. And then we went back into like 9 a.m. when it started getting really cold and the days were really short. Just because, if I tried to start it at 8 a.m., the sun, technically, because we're up here in the mountains, hasn't really even crested the mountains, or it just kind of has. And it'll be kind of cold here in the mornings. And so we need that sunshine to heat it up, which right now the sun's out. So I could probably take my sweater off because it feels really nice, even though I'm sitting in the snow, Okay. So let me rewind and go backwards. The horse messages from our horse allies. So the reason we're going to be doing that today, because we had a poll that I put out, like I said before at the beginning, on the YouTube channel page, my channel page, also with my patrons and also with my YouTube members. So technically, if you're a patron and or a YouTube member, and there's something you really want to see during a Sunday live chat, you have the ability to do that. So you can cast those extra votes and get that like extra oomph in. But it seemed like everybody was pretty much in alignment with what they wanted for this Sunday, which was getting messages from our horse allies. And I really would like to go over to the stables there, but I don't think the internet extends over there. But like I said, I hope that they kind of just like walk back there. There's like a trail back there. Oh, wow. There goes a bunny. Rex, you see the bunny? Oh my gosh, he was trying to trot after the bunny. And then he gave up. He's like, well, I'll get you next time, buddy. Wow. A little cottontail went by. That was so cute. Okay. So let's go ahead and tap into our horse friends. Oh, and to kind of aid with that energy, I have this necklace kind of carved out of stone and seashell of little horses. And this was made by a grandmother from down near Yuma. So actually, well, I guess technically part of the Tohono O'odham tribe, which is what Pima is, my ancestry is connected to. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. And so yeah, I had to get it from her. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull a few cards here. Just what horse would like us to know right now. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll just tap in channel first, and then I will pull a few cards. Let's do that. Okay. In the meantime, perhaps I will have a sip of water as it's been chilling in the snow, my nice chilled water. Okay. Let's tap in. Okay. So the energy of horse was just kind of showing me when when they're, and actually I might just be connecting to those horses over at the stables there. They said kind of like when they are getting ready for a ride and they're getting all saddled up and they're getting their bridle put on and everything like that. And they said that they don't do anything that they don't want to do. They said sometimes, it may look as if, the person or people had such control of us that they made us, do this, or they make us do that. They said it's more of a choice. And they said, and our choices are just the same as anybody else's choices, any other animals, humans, plants, that we all have choices on what we decide we are going to allow or decide what we are going to submit to. And they said, so if they really don't want to go out that day, they said they're not going to go out that day. If they don't want to get saddled, they're not going to get saddled that day. They said, do you know how powerful we are and how large of an animal we are and how small human beings are in comparison, in stature? They said, so they said it's more of this connection with, well, they consider us the other animal, humans. They said it's this connection. We have this kind of agreement and we're like, okay, so what you want is also in alignment with something that I want. So we get together and we go out for a ride. But horse wants to remind us about the things that occur in our lives, and possibly circling back around to the weekly reading where I was saying that some things could come up and we could be like, oh my gosh, this is ruining my day, my hour, my week, my month, my year. But is it really, is it worth your worry? Is it worth your stress? What are some things that you could do about it now and some things that you can't? But, horse is saying, if you put ourselves in that position. They said things come up. They said it's not like we don't have worries. They said, we're a part of this collective consciousness too. They said we have things that we get anxious about. We have things that we worry about. We have things that we'd rather not do. They said sometimes it's kind of early in the morning, and sometimes some of the horses really just do want to sleep in. And they said, but that's not really what the hands want, for us. So we have to decide, is what we want in alignment with them or not? Or is this something that I will allow to happen or something I will not allow to happen? They said, because guaranteed, they said, if we wanted to sleep in longer and we didn't want to go out, they said they actually won't take us out that day. Maybe not all of us, that they said, but if us as individuals were like, nah, I don't really want to go out, they said they do read our energy just as much as we read theirs. And they said sometimes they don't want to go out that day. The humans don't want to go out that day. And that's cool too. So they're all about their sovereignty and being absolutely clear on their decision-making process. They said because everything comes in, they're saying from their perspective, everything is coming into their lives for a reason. Whether it feels comfortable or uncomfortable, positive or negative, it's all there for a reason. And so what is that reason? And so when they have clarity in that, they just feel much more calm and at peace with what happens throughout their day because they feel like they're in control of their entire day. And you might find that, funny because you're like, well, it looks like they're under the control of the person, the person that's riding them or the person that's taking care of them. And they said, not necessarily. They said maybe there are some horses that give their power away, but they said for the majority of us, we do not give our power away. We decide what we want to do, but we understand why this is in our reality, why this is happening, and then we decide what our choice is moving forward. And they said that is sovereignty, that is independence, while also connecting to energy. So they said independence is not cutting yourself off from every being around you and being separate. They said it's quite the opposite. It's standing in one's power among a collective of beings and working with that collective of beings and also showing those other beings, showing the human beings that, hey, they said you can stand in your power too. They said that's why a lot of people look at us as if we're always chill and always at peace. Like we just seem like the most calm, peaceful energy. And they said, because we are completely satisfied with the decisions that we make. They said maybe not every single horse is totally at peace at every single time, but for the majority, in general, we are pretty chill because we understand why things are happening, why they're there, what decision we want to make moving forward. Is this something for us to, get our get our hindquarters all in a bunch about, or like what, So let's go ahead and pull some cards. Just kind of about what they had just said. So actually I want to pull 3 color cards. It's kind of what I'm feeling. Ooh, a little breeze came in. What? Okay. So I have Healing Cleanse with this beautiful blue card. I have Harmony with this beautiful green card. And I have Compassion with a little pink card. So what's interesting here, it looks like heart chakra connected to the throat chakra. And perhaps that's also something that we can take with us, maybe not just with this week, but just, us moving forward as, any situation that's coming in. And this is kind of what Horse is trying to say. Anything that comes into our lives, filter it through your heart space. Sometimes the knee-jerk reaction is to filter it through our mind and our logic. But remember that's kind of where the ego resides. And the ego, although, hey, very good at navigating the 3D world, that's kind of why there is an ego here in 3D, is because it's created to help navigate the 3D world. But there's something that is even better at navigating not only the 3D world, but the 4D world, 5D world, whatever D world. And that is our soul, our higher self. And so When we say filtering in things through the heart space, we're not really talking about our physical heart space, although many of us may feel it there. We may feel it as a warmth or as like a jump in our heart, but it's more symbolic of how we read energy. And so when we say we're filtering it through our heart space, we're saying we're filtering it through our soul, the aspect of us that is source, because we are source. Source is us, we are source. And so we're filtering it in. And let's say the situation is unpleasant, but I filter it through my heart space first. And my heart space says, I mean, it's not kind of ideal, but here are a couple of things I can do. There's a bunch of things I can't do about it. But I do want to understand why it's here. I do want to learn. And the heart space is going to help you with that. That soul, your higher self, is going to help try to understand why it's there. We feel more at peace then. We have more clarity then, because like, oh, okay, so this has been brought into my reality because X, Y, and Z, something, from my past. All right, well, that's something I can heal. And I feel like I'm back in the driver's seat, or I'm back on the saddle, really. And I can take care of this. And then the more we vocalize this, either in meditation, journaling, with a friend, calling them up on the phone, vocalizing it out loud, the more in alignment we are, and the easier and more clear it is moving forward for ourselves. And so that's what Horse really wants to teach us, is that filtering it through the heart space. They said we are a very, very, very heart-based creature. And they said, so, if there's one thing you could learn from us, it is all about tapping into here. Again, not the physical heart, but what the heart symbolizes, what it represents. And so, if something is not only unpleasant, but think about the things that are pleasant. We have to think about that too, instead of always just looking at maybe the negative aspect of like the only time I really do a check-in, or I look at shadow work, or I look at healing is only when things upset me, or only when things are going wrong. But there's another side to life. There are times when things are going absolutely fantastic, like wonderful, and like love is in the air, and all that stuff. So why is that happening as well? What helped bring me into alignment with that? And in doing that, we can see again all the light and shadow that's in it. And if we want more of that, then we're absolutely clear on how we got there in the first place, so we can get more of that, instead of being absolutely clear on the things that we don't want in our reality, but also looking at the things that we do want, because horses, they do kind of chase their joy, they said. And they said when we're out and about, and actually I'm kind of connecting now to the horses, the wild horses near my property. But they said only once in a while do you see us like running around, and it's only because we're playing games and chasing each other. Like we don't actually have to get anywhere too quickly. So they said we are just kind of feeling into our environment. Sometimes we feel like, hey, there's some nice humans over here that want to feed us some hay, or feed us some apples, and maybe we'll go over there. Sometimes we don't feel like doing that. Sometimes we feel like just rolling around in the dirt and playing. And they said we're just kind of following our bliss and just following our joy. John says, since you've started pulling through this energy, my body feels full of energy and I want to go for a run, then shake it out. Yeah, and Duality Tales has got the heart there. So yeah, I'm kind of feeling that too, actually, which, maybe I should kind of shake it out before I'm sitting in a car for a while, on a mini road trip. But yeah, yeah, horse is very interesting energy. And by the way, I think I've mentioned it many times before. And when I did that deck review of the Council of Horses Oracle, which I don't have it on me today. I wanted to bring that deck, but that's fine. But I've always felt like, because I've always loved horses since I was like maybe about 2 years old. And my grandparents lived next door on either side of their property. There were people that had horses, and I got to go kind of play with them and ride the horses and things like that. But I've always felt that they have, I don't know, like they have they're just surrounded by so much power and energy. And it's like they just kind of piecemeal it out. Like, so it's like, I feel like kind of casually doing this, but there's all this like strength and power inside of them that they really could just like go literally buck wild and start bucking around and, or racing about and whatever. It's like they have the ability to do that, but they don't do it all the time. So horses, like, just because you have the ability to do something, you have a particular amount of energy, welled up inside of you, doesn't mean you need to like use it all the time. They said they are very good at also directing their energy. So they said, just like how John's feeling like all this energy, like I gotta like, I don't know, John, if you're gonna start kicking your feet up in the air like a horse, but it's like we just decide, okay, I'm going to channel this energy into going for a ride. I'm going to channel this energy into finding my brothers and sisters, in a different herd, or I'm going to, channel this energy into, connecting with this tree over here, this plant. They said, so they're just very good at taking that abundant energy that they have within them and just channeling it. And they said, or manifesting with it. And they said, and people, they said, you guys are the same. They said, well, technically everything, we all have this ability. They said, humans have a ton of energy inside of it. Sometimes they're just not aware of it. And when they do become aware of it, they want to spend it all in one place. They said it's kind of like a kid that finds whatever, like $5 on the ground. It's like, ooh, what could I buy with $5? Instead of like, okay, well, let's think about this. I have $5. I feel really abundant right now. Either I could continue to chill with this $5 and show all my friends of like, hey, I found $5. I found $5. Or I could take that down to the 7-Eleven and, if it were me back in the day, I probably would have gotten one of those like slap bracelets and maybe a Slurpee and maybe some Nerds candy. And then whatever was left over, I'd hold on to it, be like, I got $2. I got $2. But they said, the same could be said for your energy. You could walk around being like, I got all this energy. I got all this energy. But I'm just going to channel some of it over here. I'm going to channel some of it over here instead of like, I'm just going to like vomit all my energy onto this like one thing, which you have the ability to do too. All right. Oh my gosh. I love their energy so much. They're so fun. Okay. I do want to then, with the super chats and super stickers, if you would like your message to come through from horse, let me know. Or if, you want it you have a particular question in mind, or you want it coming down from your higher self, or, whatever it may be, go ahead and let me know. But yeah, I think this is a wonderful opportunity to get an individualized horse message. So yeah, while I get some water, if you guys want to do super chats and super stickers, let me know. Oh, Sam was wondering if we can ask him about the energy of freedom. That's kind of what was coming through when they were talking about being sovereign and independent. They said that is the freedom, is because they feel like they always have freedom of choice. Even on the outside, us as human beings, we might say, they're some of the horses aren't free because, they're in a stable or they have owners, and, the owners decide, when they're going to eat and when they're going to go out for a ride. They said, but we've always had that freedom of choice. And they said, so that's what makes us absolutely free creatures, is because to some degree, the people that are handling us know that it has to be a co-created existence. Otherwise, they're not going to get what they want, and we're not going to get what we want. So they said, we're kind of working on this together. It's the idea of cooperation. They said that freedom doesn't mean being alone. They said freedom is more in your energy and more in your choices. And so if I have clarity of choice, I know why fully, my light and shadow, why I'm making this choice, why this is in my reality, why I actually want this in my reality, then that is the freedom. Instead of feeling like other people are making my choices for me, other people are deciding where I'm going to go, other people are telling me how to live my life, and I'm putting all of my power in their hands. This is not fair, because the people are in our reality for a reason as well, and so they don't want to give all their power away to us. We don't want to give all our power away to them. So we have to have this understanding of choice. And they said that's freedom. They said is choice, understanding you always have a choice. Even when it looks like you have no choice but to do something, they said there's always, always, always a choice. It may not be what you want, the kind of choices that you want. They said, but there's always a choice. And they said, and they know that with that abundant energy that's within them, they know that they can piecemeal it out to get what they want. All right. Ooh, and that was a wonderful question, Sam, by the way. Okay, so we have Duality Tales and we have our buddy John. So Duality Tales, let me know if you have a particular question in mind, if you would just like a general message from the higher self, or you want a message from our horse allies. I keep pointing over there because that's where the stables are. But of course, horse are all around. And then John, also let me know if, again, you want a message from horse or you had something else in mind. Sam's like, got it. Thank you for explaining. You are very welcome. But I just like feel so surrounded by horses right now. And there were two types of horses that I loved growing up. Although, by the way, I love all horses, down to the Shetlands, all the way up to like Clydesdales. But actually, speaking of Clydesdales, those were like one of my favorite type of horses. I loved Clydesdales and I loved Arabian horses. Arabian horses just so nimble, so fast, and just beautiful in the way their coat shines in the sun. And Clydesdales, they're just this massive, massive animal. But yet they don't like throw their power around. It's like they're the most graceful, largest animal I've ever seen. Okay, so Duality Tales says, I'll take a message from the horses, please. Yay! All right. So let me get in here. Okay. Before I pull a card for you, Duality Tales, horses were kind of showing me like if you're in a sleigh almost, I guess because we are in the snow, so I'm seeing more sleigh than carriage. But they're like, imagine, you're in this sleigh and it's a horse-drawn sleigh. And they said, we're very good at helping you to get where you want to go, but you have to choose a place, a destination. And they understand that sometimes it can be difficult to make a decision on where you want to go because all the options seem feasible, all the options seem wonderful. They said, but just like with us, we understand that there's more than just the linear time. And that if you filled your day or your entire lifetime with things that you absolutely wanted to do, or there were things that perhaps you didn't want to do, but you could make them into something that could be a lot of fun, then it's like creating something that you want to do. And they said, so when we're asking you, what is your destination? Where do you want to go next? They said, maybe it's not just one choice. Maybe we can make multiple pit stops, but also an understanding why you want to get to these places, to these destinations. And we're more than happy to help you get there. But the reason we're in here in this message with you, not only because you wanted a message from us, but remember, everything's a co-creation. We wanted to give a message to you. You wanted a message from us. That is the freedom. That right there, you have freedom of questioning. We have freedom of answer, but we also have freedom of questioning. And so every time you ask a question about anything, not even just, they said, not even for the person that you're pulling cards for with right now, but anytime you question decisions, question what you've manifested, question the light and the shadow, that brings about more clarity. It's one step closer to another piece of the puzzle, making things more clear. And the more questions you ask, the easier it is actually to figure out where it is you want to go next based on your questions. They said, let's say, for example, you are standing in the middle and you could decide to go north, south, east, or west. And you're saying, well, I don't know, maybe I'll go west. But why? Ask questions. Well, where would be the most beneficial for my soul at the moment? Where could I find warmth, both literally and metaphorically? Where could I do, X, Y, Z? Just keep asking those questions, and then the path is revealed to you. They said oftentimes people want to find the path and then ask questions, but they said in order to find out where you want to go, you got to ask the questions first. What do you want in your life at this very moment? Not the existential questions, what do you want in your entire lifetime, but in this very moment, in this next 5 minutes, what do you want? How do you want to feel? How do you want to think? How do you want to be? And in that, you'll know what you want to do next. And we're more than happy to pull you on that sleigh. And they said the reason we chose sleigh they said it's not just because there's snow surrounding me, technically at the moment. They said because sleigh it slides. It's not blocked by anything. Wheels can break down, but in the snow, it just glides on ice. And they said that's kind of how energy is. It's gliding. It's not cumbersome. It's not bumbling. The energy just glides, much like a sleigh in the snow. Okay, so let's pull a card then to see kind of how that connects. And John is saying that he likes Belgian and quarter horses. Actually, a lady who lives on the corner near my property, she is a quarter horse, and she's pretty amazeballs. And then Magic Universe, our buddy Patrick said, just the level of ego percentage I am now, or a nice one off the horses. I let you have the choice. Okay, will do. So duality tales, let's see. Ooh, we have creativity. And that's coming from this beautiful orange card, which again would kind of connect to that sacral chakra, where our sexuality is, where our creativity is, where all kinds of fun things, and maybe even where a bit of the Kundalini lives, and even a bit of the Koyopa, according to Mayan mythology. But so as they were coming in talking about just, where we're more than happy to help you wherever it is that you want to go. But in tapping into your sacral chakra and tapping into your creativity, perhaps that's where we can also tap into our questions. There are questions you have to ask first. So then we can decide, okay, so do I want to go north, south, east, or west? Or do I want to, buy a house? Do I want to live in an apartment? Do I want to move to move to Indonesia, or do I want to stay right here in the state that I'm in? But I have to ask myself these questions, and not where do I want to go? They said there's more than just that question, but more what do I want right now? How do I want to feel right now? What are some things I want to manifest right now? What do I want to bring into my life right now? And as I allow my soul to create the answers to those questions, I look at them and I can formulate my next step. I can formulate my next direction. And that's the part about getting creative. That's the part of freedom. That's the freedom of choice, because nobody else is making that choice for you. The ego mind isn't making that choice for you, saying, well, technically, it's kind of cold right now, so perhaps we want to go south, or it's warming up, so perhaps I want to go north. Instead of doing that, we decide, okay, well, my soul, based on my line of questioning, is saying I should actually go east, and it might be something completely different than what our ego would have come up with, although we say, hey, thanks ego for, weighing your 2 cents in. But my soul is feeling it going this direction. My soul has never led me astray, so that is where I'm going based on my line of questioning, based on tapping into that creative center of the self. And then horse energy is like, and all you have to do then is call on us, which is also an aspect of you, that ultimate freedom, that ultimate peace and power. And we'll help you get there. So, all right, Duality Tales, I hope that makes sense. Thank you for allowing me to tap in. All right, and then our buddy John. Um, so, John, do you want a message from the horses or just kind of in general, maybe from your higher self or a particular question? Definitely let me know. And yay, Duality Tales. By the way, next to Duality Tales' name, you notice that there's like this little colored kitty head, and that is for all of my YouTube members. So they get to stand out with like this little cute kitty. And also they have very special emojis. And as I get more YouTube members, I can create more emojis, special emojis, which I'm excited about. But yeah, I have to wait till I have more. Then I can create more, more fun things for them. John says, should I ask from a message from Skydog since you're Blackfoot? Well, me, I'm Pima, but hey, we could ask for a message from Skydog. Hey, let's do it, John. I like it. Okay. Okay, very interesting. Okay, so when I was trying to tap into the energy of Skydog, I was actually seeing, like before me, a domesticated dog, a coyote, and a wolf. And I'm, and then John was saying horses. So I'm also having horse kind of stand with me so that I can get clarity on this message. So technically, I guess your message is coming from Skydog and horse. So it's like a dual message. So this is cool. Okay, and then horse wants to talk about themselves after we look at these three animals. You know, the domesticated dog, coyote, and wolf. And Skydog was saying, think about the energy or the symbolism of a wolf. Some people see it as a symbol of strength. Some people see it as something to be feared. But what is it really? It's the fact that they understand that they are part of a collective, they are part of a pack, but they can also be fine on their own because they understand that they are connected to everything. And that is why, in their mind, they are never alone. They said it's human beings that are looking for the separation. That either I'm alone as a human being or I'm around a group of human beings. Wolf says, from our perspective, I could be physically around my pack, or I know that I'm connected to them at all times. So even though when it physically looks like I'm not with them, I'm always with them. I know that I'm connected to the trees. I know that I'm connected to the other animals. And it's this interconnected relationship that we also share with horse. Horse understands this. And they said, so now we take it another step, which is another aspect of ourselves, coyote. And although they said it is less likely that you might see a coyote on its own, that's because it is living the life of understanding that it wants to stay within a group. It doesn't want to be on its own. Although it knows that it's connected at all times, it's just another aspect of ourselves. the aspect that doesn't wish to physically be on its own and have that connection. They said, take again another aspect of ourselves, the domesticated dog. The domesticated dog doesn't really truly want to be on its own. It's always trying to find a pack or trying to find something, someone to connect with. Sometimes they have a fear of being by themselves because they may feel disconnected from other dog consciousness, from coyote consciousness, from wolf consciousness. The dog may even fear the wolf, not seeing that we are one and the same. And this has nothing to do with genetics and how things have evolved. But everything on this planet has its aspect. And for wolf, they said our aspect is seen not only in coyote and dog, but in other areas as well. And this is all on purpose. We all came here for this purpose, for our individual lessons and missions. And in this lifetime, domesticated dog was not meant to live like the wolf. Coyote was not meant to live like the wolf or the domesticated dog. But we understand that how we live individually aids the whole. And so Horse wanted to speak on this as well, that they understand that there are horses that have given their power away. There are horses that don't look like what we might think of as a normal horse, but they are all different aspects with different missions, and they are meant to live in that fashion because ultimately at a soul level, they know that it aids the whole. And so for you, John, you are one aspect in all of these aspects of yourself. All other human beings, animals, plants. And you are living the life that you were meant to live in order to aid others, just as others are living as they were meant to in order to aid you and the whole, dualistically speaking. So whenever you might feel that you are stagnant or off your path, yes, we work with these things, but also understand that that has been placed there specifically as your personal lesson, your personal message, because how you end up working with it or finding the answer to it is going to aid so many other beings once that energy is put back into the collective. So your mere existence helps us all, just like our existence helps you, whether or not you're conscious of it. All right. Whew. John says, I thought I heard something about Blackfoot earlier. Perhaps that's also, part of my ancestors back there just chatting away. Wow. Okay. Thank you, John. And then Patrick wanted to know the level of ego percentage, or a nice one off the horses. Let's go with the ego percentage. And then we have Easy Does It, wanting a message from the beautiful trees behind me. Will do. And then our buddy John again. And Lily said, hi, everyone. Hope all is well. I have sad news. My kitty who I rescued was violently attacked and dragged away by a loose pit bull whom I never seen, but whispers it belongs to a home 2 blocks away. Oh my gosh, Lily, I am so sorry. I'm sending love to you and your family, and also to your cat who has, oh my goodness. Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that. Okay. Let me just send a little bit of love to our friend Lily real quick. And I ground myself before I go into the next message. But just sending some good juju to you and your family, good healing energy for all involved. Alrighty. Thank you, my friend, for coming in and hanging out with us today and sharing that with us so that we can send you lots of love. Um, and John said, "Thank you. It could be mine from way back too. I know it's in me. All right. So yeah, also your ancestors too coming through. All right." I rhymed. All right, Patrick. So let's take a look ski and then we'll go to Easy Does It and back to John. All right. So, Patrick, as I was tapping into your energy, actually, I heard one of the horses whinny over there. Um, but it looked like it was fluctuating as it always is from moment to moment. Um, but what was coming through was just that 15.4%, just kind of like fluctuating, like vibrating back and forth, but like 15.4%. And I remember that like 15 can be, wow, the horses are really going off back there. 15 can be kind of not really like difficult to get past, but more just understanding what 15% represents. And then kind of deciding what we want to do moving from there. But yeah, I was getting that 15.4%. Let me pull a card to go along with it as well. Can you guys hear the horses through my microphone? It's kind of cool. Ooh, passion and energy boost for our buddy Patrick. So let's see how this connects to the 15.4%. Okay, so your higher self is saying you kind of well, I guess we're all human, so it's kind of like this. Well, I like chilling at this percentage, because there's so much for me to learn, so many lessons, so many ways of like feeling through my environment and kind of how I perceive the world at this percentage. And then there are other times where you're like, really, is that it? Let's get it down. Let's get it down. So it's kind of like going back and forth between being really chill about like, okay, all right, so we're at this percentage now, and I'm just like perceiving the world and seeing, how I can, manipulate, the 3D world, the matrix as it were, and how I can, manifest or how I connect to other people at this percentage. And then other times it's the, okay, yeah, I'm at that percentage. Okay, let's get it down. Let's go to 13. Let's go to 12. Let's go to 10. Just like count it down, baby. So yeah. So your higher self is like, just be cognizant of when you're in those energies. And if you find yourself getting frustrated, then understand that's probably because you're meant to take in that particular percentage that you're at. So let's say you got yourself down to 14%. And you're really frustrated, you want to get past it. But what does 14% have to show you? What is it trying to teach you? How is the perspective different at 14% that it was at, let's say, like 15%, 14.9 versus like 15%. Like how is that 0.1 of a percent, like how is that different? And how do you feel differently energetically? How are the people in your environment, in your reality, different based off that one little change? And what could have aided with that change? What could have actually been the shadow of that change, but also the light of that change? So just kind of taking all that into perspective. All right. Thank you, Patrick. I hope that makes sense. Um, Lily says, thank you all. It's so hard. I cry every day. I totally understand. I totally understand. When, one of my cats had passed away, I cried for a good long time. And every once in a while, every time I think back on it, I still get a bit teary. But yeah, there's something about animals. Just they're so they have so much. They embody their soul so much more. Along with plants and things, and not that there aren't people that also embody their soul, but it seems like they're just so much more pure of heart, so much more innocent. That I think I think it hits us differently than with anything else. So I totally understand. And sending you lots of love, of course, Lily. All right, James Smith in the house says morning. Good morning. Patrick says, thanks so much. It's just a pain in the ass, 15%. Tell me about it. um, and then John saying, good morning. Patrick says, yep, it comes and goes. Lily said, thank you, Tara. I feel so guilty because I was there. I would have intervened. My daughter picked up the dog and I ran inside. She was scared. I didn't know what to do. She called me and I was 25 minutes away from the house. Um, Something that I have learned with not only animals, but people, and people have showed this to me mostly, is that when things happen, like an animal passes away or a human passes away, and we feel like there's so much more I could have done or I should have been there. Um, at a soul level, there's a reason that we're not. Um, and what I've learned from, let's say, people that I know that pass away, and I could have been there. I feel like I could have done more, but they said everything had to occur the way it did for each soul's lesson. And so for, if we were, I guess, to tap into your cat's energy and understanding like what it was trying to understand and learn. And also it feels like it didn't want you to see that. And sometimes, when people pass, they say it's just not a part of our individual missions to be there during their passing. They say it's just either they feel it would be too hard on someone, or that's just a trauma they didn't want them to incur. So they make it so that we're not there physically, but also so that we would understand we're always with them energetically, always, always. And I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining it correctly. Magic said, thanks, I get it. I was blown away again. Thanks so much. You are very, very welcome, my friend. Okay, so let's go to our friend Easy Does It, who wanted a message from the beautiful trees back here. Hey guys, all the junipers back there, and there's some ponderosa pines. Okay, so let me just tap into the trees first, and then we'll pull ourselves a card. Oh, okay. All right. I get you. So, okay, Easy Does It. The tree was kind of showing me kind of something I learned when I walk around my property, is that they are excited about every state that they experience. I'm not talking about like the United States, that kind of state. I'm talking about state of being that they experience. And so the juniper is showing me, there's a state of being in the being a little sapling, and that's wonderful, cool. They said we also grow really slow, by the way. They said so we get to like experience this like in a linear fashion. We get time to savor the moment as a sapling. We get time to savor the moment being a foot tall and then 3 feet tall, and then we get to savor the moment when we are, let's say, 800 or 900 years old, which junipers can get pretty old, up to 1,000 years old. And they said, so we can be in this like state, they said, and then there are states where they said sometimes we get struck by lightning. And they said, and we don't Um, we don't understand pain perhaps the way human beings understand pain. They said for us it's an experience of sensation. This is sensation. That's really kind of how they want to describe it. So they said so when we get struck by lightning, it's not like we are in pain, but it's an unusual feeling. Now we have fire in our belly. Now our bark feels different. And sometimes we might be split in tway, you know? So they said, and that's an unusual feeling. They said sometimes the wind picks up so hard that we're blown over and our roots are come right out of the ground. And they said, and that is also another beautiful sensation. But they enjoy all these sensations. They said it's such a different experience. They said because it's not like we have feet and we get up and we just like walk around like human beings do. They said so we have to manifest and bring to us all these different experiences because we are pretty much stationary unless we're a potted plant and people move us around, in which case we have manifested ourselves into being a potted plant so that somebody would move us around. They said and we have crafted it that way. And they said, but, speaking specifically of the trees back here, they said, we've decided that we are here. This is where we're going to be. And they said, so we bring everything to us. We bring the wind to us. We bring the lightning strikes to us. We bring, the waters to us, the flood to us, the animals, the insects. We bring it all to us. And they said, and even when it looks like we are dead on the ground, where our bark is dried up, everything is dried up, and we appear to be decomposing back into the soil, even that is a state of being. We're never truly dead. They said, and we are a great reminder that nothing ever truly dies. Maybe we see it in physicality, like we see physicality with the tree. Well, I see the tree as decaying and it looks dead to me, but the tree's like, I'm not dead. I'm still very much a part of those particles. And I can feel myself evolving into something new, which is the, you know, becoming one with the soil. And I know that eventually, I could, come together and make nutrients for another tree, or I could be a tree again, or, I can manifest myself into whatever it is I want to be. But everything they feel is this beautiful state of being. So they enjoy being in a state of decay. They said we enjoy being blown over sometimes. We enjoy when the animals play in our branches. They said we enjoy the insects. We enjoy all of these things. They said because we understand it's all learning and it's all sensation. And they said if only human beings could enjoy this as well and understand that it's all just sensation and that humans bring to themselves just as much as we bring things to ourselves. So let's pull a card just to clarify on that. Ooh, socialized network. I mean, that ties in so great because, first of all, I always see trees as like the ultimate network of roots and energetic and physical. But also, yeah, just, if you look at your life as if you were a tree, how you have brought, everything to you, all those experiences and sensations that you've wanted, and you've brought them to yourself. And maybe you're making those decisions consciously, maybe subconsciously. But it's also in the understanding of why did I bring this to myself at this time? Just like trees say, they ask themselves that question. If I brought a flood to myself, why did I feel like I needed to be in water? Oh yeah, because I wanted to understand flow better. So I brought myself a flood and I wanted to live in extremes for a moment. So that's why I did that. So hopefully that makes sense. Living a little bit more like tree. And then let's see, let's go back here. And then Lily says, I understood. Oh, good, 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 good. All right. So, John, did you have another question? And then we'll get to our friend Lily. So let me have a little sip of water here. And then after Lily, let's see, we will say, we'll cap it there. That would be our final super chat, super sticker. And then I want to go into a guided meditation with you guys, a nice healing guided meditation, especially for our friend Lily. Yeah, and then we'll call it a Sunday because I'm going to be going to Colorado, y'all. Okay. So just do a little shuffle, get these cards all mixed up. So again, oh, wow. I should patch these pants. starting to wear out at the knee, although that could be kind of cool. I could be making a fashion statement. So yeah, so John, just let me know if you have a second question. And then okay, so I donated a second time because you said you do skydog and horse. I wanted to make sure there was an energy balance there. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you so much, John. Wow, thank you so much. Okay, so Lily, let's take a look in. Lily says, have I disrespected the land spirit? I don't understand why this happened. He was in the backyard and the dog came out of nowhere, 18-year-old daughter, and the dog seen it. Okay, okay. So let's tap in. Okay. So you have multiple energies coming through. It's the energy of the land itself, the energy of your cat, and actually the energy of the pit bull. And your cat is saying, in hopes that you understand this explanation, that there was in no way that you have offended the land. There is no karma that you have created. There was nothing bad that you did. But everything needed everything else. So the cat was saying that just like any being in this realm, there are exit points. And we get to choose that point. Some people may have 20 different exit points throughout their lifetime. And at any moment, they can choose to take that exit point. Your cat is saying it had an exit point. That was just one of many. And of course, at a conscious level, the cat may not have understood what was happening. At a subconscious level, at a soul level, your cat fully understood what was happening. It wanted to take that exit point. In order for that to happen, something had to happen in order for the life to be taken. Since it wasn't ill at that time, it wasn't ready to pass away from old age at that time, another being had to step in, and in this case, play the quote unquote bad guy. But your cat is saying, I manifested that pit bull. I brought it in because from a soul to soul understanding, the pit bull said, do you need aid in transitioning? I said, yes, I do. I'm ready for my exit point. In physicality, this appeared as violence. That this dog appeared out of nowhere and so viciously took my life. And that is one perspective. But the other perspective is that I was ready to exit this vessel because I am ready to do so much more energetically, not only for you and the family, but for my soul family, that I could be in all places at once. And this is something I used to dream about, being everywhere at once. And now I feel this, and it is beautiful. I can be with you at the same time. I can be galaxies away or even dimensions away. I am literally everywhere at once. And I was ready for the next part of my mission. And although this may be hard to understand for the humans that I have left behind, this was created on purpose. I was ready to exit at a soul level. I needed help. I asked the soul of the pit bull to help me with this. This is why you'd never seen this pit bull before, why I appeared to come out of nowhere, because I had called it in. There were things that the pit bull at a soul level wanted to learn as well. A mission that it has. The repercussions it wants to understand. And also the soul of your child. Perhaps at a conscious level, not wanting to witness this. Perhaps feeling that it is a traumatic experience. But at a soul level, your child coming to understand that we cannot control beings outside the self. As much as we may want to love and care for other beings, we still cannot use that as a form of control, although it appears to be in the light. We can give our love freely. We can give our healing freely. We can accept love freely. We can accept healing freely. And this is something she's coming to understand. That a situation happened. So now how can she connect to my essence now that my physical self is gone? And she is also on this spiritual journey of truly connecting to her spirit self. And now that I am in non-physical form, she has a greater opportunity to understand her own non-physical nature. I am going to help her with this. This was also our soul understanding. To take away those 5 senses and get her to focus on the 6th sense, which is her soul sense. And I will help her to feel into herself so that she has more clarity moving forward in her life, so that she understands the choices that she makes and the paths she takes herself on, so that she understands energy. But also this was something your soul wanted to understand as well. Not being there. You are not meant to experience the visual. You were just meant to understand the energy and to experience it. Not to feel guilt, but to try to understand energy itself at a different level, different than the 18-year-old. She witnessed it, you did not. But both of you are working with energy. Both of you are trying to understand your soul essence beyond your 5 senses. And the more you can help yourself with this, the more you can help her with that, the more I can help her with that. And so it might be hard to understand, but there is nothing that anybody did that was wrong, not even with the dog, because I called him in. And I am at peace. I haven't left. And all you have to do is ask for me, and I'm there, even if your sight can't see me. If you would like me to be in your dreams, I can be. But please do not blame yourself. But of course, there's always understanding and why we might blame ourselves and where that might be coming from. Okay, let's pull a card just for clarification. Oh, warrior. Oh my gosh, a very grounded card. Yeah, that this is a very big lesson for everyone. Lesson not like, oh, need to teach you a lesson, but it feels more like this is something big for the dog, for the cat, for you, for your daughter. Just everybody is looking at the world differently because of what happened. So, and it's meant to be sort of not like totally life changing, but it's a next big chapter. So I hope that understands, or I hope you understand. Um, Patrick says, "Wow, beautiful part of the cat." Calm Chaos is wondering what this is about. So I was actually pulling a card for our friend Lily. So if you go back up in the chat, she just had a question about her cat who's passed away. Angela says, "Hello, everyone. Blessings and hugs to all. Hope your day is happy and bright and you deserve big hugs with lots of love and light. Amen. Amen to you." Calm Chaos says, "Hope all is well." Sure is. And Knowledge Harvester, "Hey, what's up?" Says, "Nice glasses in background. Do you have a spirit guide or other souls riding alongside me? I feel alone all the time, though." Sure, we could take a look-ski into that. Yeah, let's take a look, and then we'll get to our healing guided meditation. I really want to do that. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the souls that might be riding alongside our friend, Knowledge Harvester. Angela says, "Blessings, Tara. I like your names, Calm Chaos and Knowledge Harvester." I know, right? You guys got some fantastic screen names. I love them. Okay, so let's tap into Knowledge Harvester. Okay, it's interesting as I was just not like seeing you as like a person, but more like your energy. And just what I saw around you was a lot of animal energy. Not to say that there aren't humanoid type energies or even extraterrestrial energies. I mean, we're surrounded by all sorts of energy all the time, but just like in your immediate proximity, I just saw like all various types of animals. Like it was like dogs, it was elk, it was deer, it was snake. There's just all these different forms of animal. But then next to them, I was trying to look at like what tribe this person was from, and I believe it was Cherokee. So there was like a Cherokee man standing next to you as well. Very interesting. And so I want to pull a card. Why you might feel alone, even though I know that you're not alone, and that none of us truly are ever alone. And that's kind of the message that we got earlier, like with horse and with the trees that we connected to, is that they're very good at just tapping into all the energy around them and feeling whole. And realizing that all those energies are them, even though they may not be like in physicality with other beings, or like with Wolf. Wolf was talking about that too. But let's see. Ishani is here. Oh my gosh, long time no see. How are you? This is hello, Tara. Hello, everyone. How have you been? Well, I've been fantastical, my friend. Knowledge Harvester says, "I really am a knowledge harvester." Hey, I believe it. Ooh, purification. Okay, so what was coming through is that sometimes even our ego mind can decide what feeling surrounded by our guides and the collective consciousness feels like the ego might say, well, if I'm surrounded by beings, I should feel like sensation in my body, like I should feel like goosebumps, or might feel like a wind coming through, or I should see them so prominently in my dreams that I always remember those dreams, like they would be really vivid, lucid dreams. Or if I was surrounded by my guides, I would see them moving things like spirits do, in physicality. But your soul is saying, it already knows that it's surrounded by everything, and it's when you actually tap into your soul aspect, like your actual essence, that you feel all those other things. And it's not so much feel as in feel in your physical body, but you feel it in your soul, if that makes sense. So all those beings, especially our Cherokee friend, is saying something that they learned to do is when they were all by themselves. Let's say a person from the tribe went out on their own because they're off doing a vision quest, and they know that although they are physically leaving the group of people, and although they may not physically feel all the spirits around them, the spirit of the trees and spirit of the animals and the land and so on and so forth, they say we may not physically feel all those things. We have a belief and an understanding that they are there. And they said the purpose of going on this vision quest is so that we go inwards, not so that we go far, but so that we go far inside. And as we go far inside and truly tap into our own essence and truly feel that soul and feel its messages, then everything else kind of falls into place. All those other beings, it's like we just feel them. We just know that they are there. So we're not truly alone. I hope that makes sense. Lily says, thank you, Tara. Yes, my dog is different as well. The kitty, his name is Pumpkin. Tara says, help me with my morning. I will show my daughter this message shortly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are very, very, very welcome, my friend. Just sending you lots of love. And that's why I want to do a healing guided meditation afterwards too. Thank you. Angela said, where are Susie and Silverstar? I hope they're well. They're doing great. I know that they have been taking like a social media break. They're, well, kind of like the card that we pulled for Knowledge Harvester, this purification. That's kind of what Susie and Silverstar are doing. So Susie just kind of needed a break, time to reset, just like we all do. Sometimes we need to reset. Sometimes I don't do live chats or I don't make videos just because, I might need to kind of tap into my own soul, kind of like we're just talking about with Knowledge Harvester, just kind of going inwards and being like, okay, so what would I like to do next? What direction would I like to take next? And so I believe that Heather Silverstar and Susie are doing something very similar. So they just want to kind of go into hermit mode a little bit, go inwards, go on their own kind of journey, their own vision quest, as it were, before they decide what steps they want to take next. But yeah, I've chatted with them. They're doing great. Ashani says, yes, long time. So glad to be here again. Yay! Happy to see you. John says, not at all to project my personal experience on you. I've realized there are times I can't feel spirits because they know I can handle whatever I'm going through and they're encouraging me. That's also wonderful input, from John as well. And that's something messages I've gotten from my own guides too, where they're like, sometimes I don't, it's hard to say like I feel them because it's not like it's not like a sensation in my body. It's very hard to explain. But just like at a soul level, I know they're there. And there are times, just like John was saying, where it's like, hello, anybody out there? Like, hello, am I all alone? But I'm not. And it's because at that point in time, I feel like I'm meant to experience just the oneness with myself. Because I may become too reliant on my guides. I may be putting too much onto them, putting too much outside of myself and not recognizing that they are me. So in that essence, when we feel most alone is actually when we've integrated those guides the most, when they are literally us. We are the guide. I am the Cherokee man. I am the elk and the deer and the dogs and the snake. And like, I am all these things. So that I'm not seeking them outside of me. I know that they are me. So whatever it is, any challenges that I'm facing them through the different aspects that are me, which are my guides. So yeah, very, very cool. Angela says, sending them both love in case they see this later. We all need a rest sometimes. Absolutely. And Knowledge Harvester says, damn, lots of animals around me. What exactly does that mean? That animals like me or that they are me because I'm friendly? I feel that just animal energy, and when I say animal, it's not like physical animals, although you might be surrounded by physical animals as well. But because I feel that they are more in tune with their nature, more in tune with their soul. They tend to, I'm just making generalizations, they tend to have less ego about them. So usually when, some of us are on a journey where we would like to access more of the soul than our ego, then we might be surrounded by guides that are doing exactly what it is that we would like to do as well. So I feel that's probably why you're surrounded by so many animals, is because in this point in time in your mission, as you are trying to access more of that soul aspect and less of your logic ego aspect. So you're going to call in beings that are very good at doing that, so they can help you with that. Calm Chaos says, hey, you're channeling some profound information, and the questions that are asked are very mind opening. I was curious, I saw you do channeling sessions. Are you around on Thursday? I will be around on Thursday. I believe, yeah. I was actually just kind of setting up my calendar, but yeah, I do have openings on Thursdays. So yeah, if anybody would like to do channelings this upcoming week, I'm busy on Monday. I have some things on Monday, but Tuesday through Friday, we can make it work. And the link is down below for my website in case you guys are interested. Angela says, I'll be doing prayer candles. Do you have any prayers, Tara? Sure, actually. I would like for clarity on wow, I see a heart in the snow. I'm like staring at a heart that kind of melted in the snow. That's kind of cool. I would like a prayer for just clarity in healing to open up, as I'm seeing the heart, open up the heart space. So yeah, thank you, Angela. That would be fantastic. And John says, to tap into my personal power. Exactly. Knowledge Harvester says, am I an animal whisperer? It says, I might be Tarzan. Hey, I mean, you could work towards it, and I feel like the more we're tapped into our own soul, the easier it is to hear the soul of another being. So technically, that is kind of being like an animal whisperer, the people that are like tree whisperers. It's just being so connected to their own energy that they can connect to the energy of another, understanding that they are the other. Kevin says, oh, wow. Nice, Kevin. Rada said, hello. Angela says, animals know a good person when they see one, means you have a good soul. Yeah, definitely. And Knowledge Harvester says to Angela, that might be then animals might be guarding me then. I feel like they are, definitely. Okay, so let me have a little bit of coffee and then let's go into our guided meditation. Yay! Okay, I'm gonna put this back in its little pouch. We'll do a nice healing guided meditation, and then we'll call it a Sunday. And then I'm off to Colorado. Burp, derp, derp. Okay, that goes like so, and that is like so. All right, I'm gonna get out of the way so that you guys have a more pleasant background. Oh, actually, that's kind of pretty. Okay, so, all right. Maybe zoom into the tree a little bit. Okay, whoa. There we go. All right. Okay, so just a little bit more coffee. Okay. All right, guys. Go ahead and find yourselves a nice, comfortable place. Some place where you will be undisturbed for the next several minutes. You could be lying down. You could be sitting in a chair, perhaps sitting on a cushion on the floor. Whatever feels most comfortable to you, or maybe even sitting underneath a nice tree. And as you do, I want you to bring your awareness to your breath, focusing on your breathing, not passing any sort of judgment, just feeling the rise and fall of your chest, just how it feels as the air enters your lungs, perhaps passing down the throat, feeling it down into your lungs. Maybe you feel the breath all the way down into your tippy toes. Just noticing, is it shallow? Is it fast? Again, no judgment, just observing. And again, observing how it feels to exhale when that breath escapes your lips. Just how this feels in this moment. But now we're going to breathe with a bit of intention. So as we breathe in, we're going to breathe in the air into the top of our head. And as this air comes into the top of our head, it is clearing away all of the old stagnant energy. And as you breathe out, we release that old stagnant energy. And as you do this, the muscles in your face and your jaw, your eyes begin to relax as we let go and we release. So we do this again, breathing in into our neck, clearing away anything that no longer serves us. And then we breathe out and release, making way for that new energy. And we continue in this fashion, breathing into our shoulders, clearing it all away, breathing into our collarbone and our chest, our upper back, breathing into our torso, everything feeling absolutely amazing and relaxed. Just feeling the muscles begin to soften, the shoulders dropping away from the ears, the palms rolling open. Continue breathing into the pelvis, breathing into our legs and our calves, feeling that breath all the way down to our tippy toes. Just replacing the energy with the new, releasing the old, sending it off with love and gratitude because at one point in time it was what you needed. And feeling the feet begin to relax. And in this beautiful relaxed state, as we continue to breathe, releasing, we bring our awareness now into our heart space. And as we go into this space, perhaps you want to imagine it as a beautiful door. And you can imagine this door as simple or as ornate as you wish. This is your heart space. And as you stand before this door, feeling everything, whether you feel the existence of the door or you see the door, or perhaps you can smell the type of wood that your door is made out of. But the door opens because this is your heart space. And as you step through this door, we are asking to see where we need healing the most at this time. And for some of you, you may envision what it is that you need healing on. For others, it might be more of a physical sense. Perhaps it comes in the form of song that you hear, or it might be a scent in the air. Everybody intuits differently. So allow your intuition, your heart to speak to you in the way that you understand best. What needs the most healing at this time? And as this comes before you, this thing that you need healing, also allow to come through what is to be understood or gained that surrounds this healing. Where can we show gratitude and love, even if it is painful? How can we see it from a higher perspective while also honoring the physical being that may feel hurt, that may feel sadness and sorrow? How can we give the human self clarity on the situation? How can we empower the human? Allow your heart to show you. And as you spend time with this, we remember what we did with our breathing just moments ago. And we will do it again, but this time to release the cloudedness that might surround what we needed healing on, the confusion, the misunderstanding. We're going to release all of that in favor of clarity. And so now, as we breathe in, once again, we are breathing in the essence of our own heart and our own soul, allowing it to clear away all of the confusion, all of the muddled thoughts, all of the blame, all of the anger, all of the sadness. And as we breathe out now, we release it all in favor of clarity, in understanding, so that we might fully heal, so that we might see ourselves in love, so that we may be more apt to show gratitude and love for the situation. Continue breathing. And if you need more time, please do take more time, and also know that you can come back to this space as many times as you wish for the healing that is needed, the clarity that is needed, the understanding that is needed. And so thank your heart space, thank your soul, which are also you. And go ahead and exit this space and come back into your physical body. You can wiggle your fingers and toes, perhaps even have yourself a nice little stretch. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. All right. Yay. Okay, you guys. Let's see. Let's go back here. Angela says, that's so lovely. You made adorable animal friends. And she was saying such gorgeous trees. Hey, our buddy Mike showed up. Hello, hello. And thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you for hanging out in this live chat. I always enjoy spending my Sundays with you guys. I always look forward to it, actually. So thank you for your vote on having us channel some awesome messages from our horse allies, for slinging some cards with us, for offering your insights and just sharing your lives with us here in the live chat. So anybody who watches the replay, I always encourage you guys, please do read the chat, because there's a lot of magical people in there. There is a beautiful community of folks. And hey, I will catch you guys next week. Tomorrow, I have a video being uploaded, and it's actually from one of our live chats. It's the channeling that Lily and I did. You guys remember Lily? And I will have her on again at some point. It's the channeling that Lily and I did of Valentine's Day, kind of the energy behind Valentine's Day. And I was kind of like feeling more of this like heart-centered stuff. So I was like, Let me like single out that portion of the live chat because I think people need to see that one because it wasn't just me channeling, but Lily also channeled as well, which I thought was really awesome. So that's coming out 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time tomorrow. Definitely check it out. That would be 8, 9, 10. So I believe that's, oh wait, we're in daylight savings. So that means that I would basically be on Pacific Standard Time again, technically. I mean, we don't change our time, but it's like, so technically 8 a.m. tomorrow would be 8 a.m. Pacific, and 9, 10, 11 Eastern. So anyway, thank you guys so much. John says, so much love to you all. Lily says, Tara, I'm outside and I saw a phoenix on fire and huge wings and something that looked like Callie, many, many arms. Wow. All right. That is awesome. That is so awesome. And Duality Tales says, thank you. Hope you have a lovely vacation. Oh, I shall. Second coming. Hey, hey, calm chaos. Hope you guys have a great week. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.